Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and this is another Blumhouse horror movie. PG-13 theatrical release. Yes, I love it. Kindergarten horror. I am not a fan of the recent Blumhouse films. AI Afraid is the name of this movie. We watched the trailer for it, and oh my god, the trailer just like sit me on a big tizzy because I was like, this is a repackaged turd. They're taking literally what they did with Imaginary and Mithrigan, which was just half okay in my opinion. The whole movie was in the trailer. But of course, anything half okay they put out recently, they make $1 jillion. But yeah, so they really repackaged that turd, and we're just like, instead of a teddy bear, instead of a doll, it's an Alexa speaker. And like, no, it's so much more than an Alexa speaker. And it is, to be fair, in this movie. But literally, the trailer just looked awful. And then I realized that this was a movie that was supposed to come out called They Listen, which had David Dastmalchian in the lead of the movie, and was written by the writer of About a Boy, the writer of Rogue One, and the director of all things, one of the two directors of American Pie, Chris Weitz. And then they changed the name to Afraid, because of the AI in there, and then they slapped out this trailer. Same movie. David Dastmalchian's not in the trailer, any of the marketing, anything like that. He is in this movie, by the way. He plays sort of this, like, one of those super tech wannabe Steve Jobs dudes who's just like a prick, and he has a bad haircut, but he's fantastic in the movie. He's a scene stealer. He always is in everything he does. But he's barely in the movie for a little bit. The craziest thing about this movie is that my dog won't stop snoring super loud. Hella? Wake up! Why'd you put your keys up on the table? You wanted to! Get out of here! Go! Excuse me for that. But the craziest thing about this one is there was some good stuff here. They had an outline and a purpose and a direction, a shockingly good direction for a moment there, that this could have been all right. This could have been all fucking right as a thriller, not a horror movie. And then they just jacked it up, which we'll talk about. So, first off, the cast, pretty good. I like John Cho a lot. I think he's the perfect kind of guy for this sort of movie. Kind of like Kevin Bacon is in a lot of these movies as like just the lead guy, a likable person going through a terrible thing. John Cho is really good for that for sure in this. And his wife was likable. I like her as an actor. And where he played it kind of stern, I think that the wife character knew that she was in completely forgettable, terrible piece of shit that no one except for Blumhouse's accountant was going to remember in 2 weeks. She knew that, so she was cracking some jokes every once in a while, and she was playing it up, the silliness of it all, and I actually had a couple good laughs in there, the way that she would deliver her lines and stuff like that, which I appreciated. And the movie's kind of funny at times. There's little things that AI will do that it'll just like, when AI says like, excuse me, Aya, when Aya will be like, say fuck or something like that. When you get Alexa or something like that to say fuck, it's like a well-timed fart. Everyone's going to laugh. It's a good time. But the daughter's really good in the movie too. The acting was good. The cinematography was good. The movie looked good, and it was the pacing was brisk. It was an easy way to spend an hour and a half. Especially again, because the movie just looks so darn good. I was impressed with it. There's nothing over the top or anything like that. Just a nice film to look at for the most part. And it had an interesting opening. It was silly as shit. Oh no, there's like 3 openings in this movie. So one of them is really dumb and silly as shit and looks like an AI made short horror film for like a teenage film class. It's fucking awful. But there's another one that's kind of interesting. And then the third opening, and I'm like, why are there so many openings in this goddamn movie? But anyways, the number one sin this movie commits is absolutely that it's not scary. Okay, first and foremost, they have no business even calling this a horror movie. At its best, it was for a second on its way to being a pretty decent little good time Danny thriller. But there's nothing horror about this film. And while it was on its way to possibly having a chance at saying some interesting ideas about AI and about deepfakes and stuff like that, they could have done something cool. Like, you got the hint. This writer could have fashioned something decent out of that. And you can literally, if you listen closely, you can hear Blumhouse going, no, fuck that. We got to scare the 11-year-olds, all right? Put more horror for 11-year-old children in this movie, please. And then they literally went to some emoji fuck dog shit that Blumhouse has been known for lately. I mean, the third act of this movie just Oh my god, when they try to do horror, it's embarrassingly awful. The secondly, embarrassingly stupid fucking sin that this movie creates is in the writing. I mean, how the fuck is a movie written by a scriptwriter, a competent scriptwriter, this incompetent? Like so many of Blumhouse's recent films. The plot makes no fucking sense at some point. The script gets thrown out the window and they're trying to hold this bitch together by duct tape. The movie's plot and the writer look like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 trying to hold the shit together, like just literally dying. I mean, this movie, the end of this movie, it makes about as much sense as a shy stripper, as a daycare teacher that doesn't like kids. And yes, I stole those jokes from Nelly, but that is about as much sense as the end of this movie makes. Everything's okay, so when you get to the point with John Cho, like everything's going great. This thing's amazing. I mean, it's doing all sorts of cool, amazing shit. The second it's in the house, it's like a ninja, just like fixing all the problems in their house, ordering cool shit, doing awesome stuff. Everybody's happy. The parents get to go upstairs and bang because their kids are downstairs watching what they think is a documentary, and it's everything's great, and everything's perfect. And then almost as if again you could hear Blumhouse going, "Hey, wrap it up, John." John Cho's character just goes, I don't think this is good. I think this could be bad. And then we go from that to all of a sudden, I mean, in seconds, he's pulling up to the facilities with an aluminum baseball bat, busting his way inside. It's that fucking stupid. It's that big of a into the fucking porta potty toilet water is what this movie does. I mean, it just takes a face dive into stupid fucktown. And they're just force feeding us dumb shit because like the cows that we are in the fields. Give us more dumb shit, Blumhouse. Make it go poof and scare us. Fuck you. The entire third act is absolute shite. I mean, it's embarrassing that they tried to pull off this ending they tried to pull off with this movie. One character that's been missing just fucking appears out of thin air, like literal out of thin air. There's like, oh yeah, we forgot about that person. And they just come running out from behind a fire truck like, hey, I'm back. And you're like, where did you come from? Like, what fucking portal did you just drop out of? And then they try to do this edgy edgelord mid 2000s like down like mind-blowing ending, and it literally unravels the entire rest of the movie. From the opening scene to the end, what they try to say is going on here is it just literally doesn't fit with the rest of the movie. It's like trying to put two dumb things into two dumb things. There's dog hair on my remote. Stupid. It's that stupid. It just doesn't even fit together. They just like flipped it on their head at the end and they're like, I don't know how to end this piece of shit. And they're like, instead of doing something that makes sense for our characters and our story, let's throw in this wide overscoping, big mind-blowing thing. Like I could just see Jason Blum in there on cocaine. Like, no, what we should do is it should be about this and it should be about this. We should do this, but we gotta have a happy ending and we gotta have a jump scare. And like, it's not a fucking, it's an AI made movie, but it's like shitty broken AI, not like the good, smart AI that this movie's about. Absolute embarrassingly poorly written ending that just fucking undoes any goodwill the rest of the movie had. And again, about it not being scary, like it's so unscary. Literally, I had a crazy, like a top 10 in my life panic attack after we got in the theater. It had nothing to do with the movie, I promise. It was before the movie even started, and just out of nowhere for no reason, just, shit, if you guys have that, it happens. And I was seriously struggling. I was like covered in fucking sweat, wondering if I should leave, freaking out, absolutely losing my mind. And the movie was actually a comfort to me. Like, if I could focus on the movie, it was actually calming me down a little bit, which just tells you how unscary and untense and unsuspenseful this shit was. It honestly wasn't even that unenjoyable to watch. It wasn't as bad as Imaginary or Night Swim or whatever. In some ways it was worse, but I'm just the experience of sitting down and watching it, because it's so brisk, it's so fast, there's a couple laughs in it, it's an hour and 24 minutes long. I appreciated that, for God's sakes, for sure. But just an embarrassingly insult to our intelligence of a film, for sure. And then finally, the third and final sin that this movie creates, just like any other Blumhouse film, I think we blamed Universal for it a little too much, because this is a Blumhouse Sony production. Universal didn't even want this fucking thing. The whole thing's in the trailer. Like, the story points of the movie are all in the trailer. The only parts where someone's actually in danger are all in the trailer. This is some Hallmark ass fucking just weak Goosebumps level, but not like fun like Goosebumps ass horror. Stop calling it horror. It could have been a decent thriller film, but you had to Blumhouse it up. And that's kind of what I feel like happened. So Afraid is a little better than I thought it would be. It's a 4 out of 10 for me. And that's because it's got likable actors in it. It's got a good cinematography and a nice pace. But it's embarrassingly fucking stupid. And it has any life strangled out of it by the Blumhouse formula. And that's Afraid. And I am afraid to ever go see another Blumhouse film again. But I will, and we all will. I think this movie just made a shit ton of money. We're all idiots, and we're gonna die. I love your all's fucking faces. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you guys soon.
Hello, listener. Do you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie? Well, Jay and Mike like scary movies too. You should go and subscribe to their podcast, We Watched a Movie. Because if you don't, I'll gut you like a... Well, I think you get the idea. Enjoy yourselves while you still can.